Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is wAFF and we're going to be talking about Cyberpunk 2077. So the whole gaming industry focused on one thing this week, and that is the actual release finally of Cyberpunk 2077, and we literally get to play it in 2 days, guys. Like 2 days. I cannot wait. I've been waiting for this game for years, ever since it first got announced, which was at least 10 years ago, like ages and ages ago. This game got announced, and I've been looking forward to it since then. I even was trying to find out stuff about it, at least whenever it first came out and the first announcement of this game was. Let me just check when that was. Okay, yeah, so 2012 was when it first got announced. It's like nearly 9 years ago now. So I've been literally looking forward to this game and waiting for it since then, and it's finally here. With 2 days we're going to be able to play it. I think even people in the States get to play it tomorrow on the 9th. I'm pretty sure that they can. Anyway, point is, we're all excited. This is probably the most anticipated game of the year. It is for me 100%, and it is for so many other people. But obviously the reviews have come out now in the last 24 hours, 48 hours, and they're not what everyone was expecting. Let me just quickly say this. The majority of the reviews are all 10 out of 10s and 5 out of 5s. But some of the big names like IGN and GameSpot, they're not giving it a 10 out of 10. And it's making people and me question this and think, how? Of course, games aren't always masterpieces. It doesn't always have to be 10 out of 10. But when a game like this is so hyped and everybody's got their eyes on this game, and to look at this game, if you actually just watch the gameplay trailers or anything to do with it, it looks better than every game. It just does. It looks unbelievable. Some people won't be even into this because of the genre. For me, it's my perfect genre. It's like sci-fi. It's a cyberpunk futuristic city world that we get to be in. It's first person. It's a role-playing game. It's basically ticks every box of a game that I want. So this game is being so hyped, and to see that some of these reviews are giving it 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10's devastating, really, because it's above average, but it's a great game, but it's not amazing, and it's not 10 out of 10 masterpiece. Why is that? And it's been driving me mental, and I've looked into this, and I've done this as the best I can without spoiling anything, and luckily I haven't spoiled anything. And I have watched some reviews, and I have looked at some of the scores, but I've purposely stayed away from looking at the negative reasons, apart from some. So I've watched reviews that are non-spoilers. I've listened to people talk about it without spoiling anything, and I've also looked at the verdicts of people's reviews and looked at the pros and the cons, but I've only looked purposely at certain things to make sure that I don't spoil anything. So I'm just going to talk about this briefly and let you guys know what to expect, and also why this potentially isn't actually a fair time to be reviewing the game, because it isn't, and I'm going to tell you why. I don't know enough about this to just do a whole long video. I'm keeping myself away from knowing anything until I play the game. I just want to go into the game completely blind and just enjoy the experience for what it is, and make my own mind up. I don't want to see what anyone else thinks. I don't want to really spoil anything for me. So I'm just going to talk about what is the main thing that I've really looked at, and what I know, and the knowledge that I have as to why these reviews are lower than we want and expected. And the main thing is, guys, is that this game is supposed to have absolutely ridiculously amount of bugs in it. It's meant to be ridiculous how many bugs there are, and that obviously is a worrying thing to hear, because it's nowadays in games, there's always bugs in some way over in all the games, even the best games that we have. But there are some games that stand out that I have never encountered any bugs with, like God of War. I don't think I've played God of War right through twice now, and I don't think I've ever seen one bug. And even Last of Us 2, I don't think I've seen any bugs. These games really stand out graphically, and the budget behind these games are so huge, and you don't see any bugs. I haven't personally, so I can only speak about what I've experienced. I'm sure there's gonna be bugs somewhere that people have experienced, but Cyberpunk 2077 is one of the biggest games I think maybe ever, like as a budget, as a whole, as a scale. It's from the same guy, CD Projekt Red, who did The Witcher 3, and everybody loves that game. It was 10 out of 10 by everybody. That was a masterpiece game, and these guys have spent last 8 years making this game the most perfect game ever, and they've had so many delays that we would be expecting this game to come out perfect, and now we're being told it isn't. So it's really frustrating, but here is the answer to all of our worries. On day one, they're going to be releasing a day one patch, which is like 50 gigs. It's like 46 gig. It's different for Xbox to PlayStation, but we know on the Xbox, it's like 46 gigs just as an update patch to fix all of these bugs. So this is a patch that you're going to have to download on day one to play the game. Well, you need to download it to make sure that your game runs the best. Don't play the game and not update it. Update it, get this patch, and then it should basically wipe out all these bugs. And all of these reviewers have played the game before the patch has been updated. They haven't played it with this patch. They've played it pre-patch, or however you want to say it. They basically have just played the game with all the bugs and all the issues. So they can only go by what they've seen, and what I've heard from some of the people that I've watched, these bugs they are so bad, and they're actually ruining the experience of the game. Some of the bugs that people are experiencing are like, you'll kill someone, you'll kill an NPC, and when they die, they'll fall to the ground, but their gun will just freeze in the air. So you go over to the gun, and you can still loot the gun and take the gun and the ammo, but it doesn't move, it just stays there, and they just float in the air, and that's supposed to happen constantly throughout the game. Like every gunfight, you'll go into a room and you'll take out 20 people, and every single person's gun is just floating in the air. And that obviously will be shit to just play. If you're playing a game and you're just seeing all the guns float, and then you try and loot them, and this game is such a high detailed game, but the guns aren't disappearing, then it's going to be annoying, especially when you're killing so many people and they're just staying there. That would be annoying, but these are just really small bugs. Like another one is NPCs being copied and doubled, so you'll see the exact same character literally next to each other, and they're a complete duplicate. They move at the same time as the other copy. That will happen quite often. Things like when you get a gun and you pull it over your shoulder, or you reload or whatever, the gun will sort of disappear, or it will like be weird. Something will happen to the gun that doesn't fit right into your hands. Like a lot of visual stuff that you actually need to have right isn't working properly. What else is that? There's also audio issues, like when you're speaking, your character the lips might suddenly stop working, or just the audio might just stop, but the characters will keep speaking and it's silent, and then subtitles will come up, but then it'll change to another scene, but the subtitles stay on the screen and they don't leave for ages, and you might end up playing like half a mission with the same subtitles still on the screen, and things like this that are like really like will put you off and take you out of your experience. They are really important to get these big bugs fixed. Like, I don't want to play the game like that. It will piss me off. There's even been talks of going through the city, and part of Night City there's a huge Ferris wheel, and supposedly you walk up to this Ferris wheel from a certain distance, and the Ferris wheel will completely disappear. Like things disappearing, cars flying and floating in the air that's not supposed to be there, NPCs like just vanishing and disappearing and then appearing in the sky, people walking in the air like and floating and walking backwards, and just a load of like buggy stuff. It's meant to be so consistent throughout the whole game that it's like it actually makes the game not enjoyable because of this. But that is because they haven't played it without this patch. The reason for this patch, it being 50 gig by the way, 50 gig is like the size of just a normal game. So that's how big this update patch is. It's huge. And they're doing it on day one, which is perfect because at least they're doing it on launch day. We're not going to have to wait till a month down the line for them to update it. By that time, everybody's kind of got to the end of the game and their experience is actually way worse because of these bugs. They're actually doing it on day one, so it isn't an issue, guys, and it's going to be completely fine. They aren't going to allow us to play a game that's been delayed so much, that's this big of a budget, that this big of a scale from a developer who's legendary in game making. They aren't going to allow us and let us just play a broken game. They're not going to do that. That was the whole point of the delays. I'm not a game developer. I don't understand game developing. I don't understand why we have to update the game on day one with a huge patch just to fix all the issues. I don't understand it, but it is a common thing. It does happen nowadays with pretty much all games, especially how big these games are now. There's always these massive updates to fix all the bugs and patches. Assassin's Creed Valhalla was really buggy at first, and they had a massive patch, and now, I mean, I play it on PlayStation 5 and it runs perfect. There's literally hardly any bugs. It's so nice and smooth. But when I first started playing it, there was loads of bugs, loads when I first played it, and now there isn't. So it's very common. It's not a big issue at all. So yeah, it's something that I initially was really worried about. I was like, whoa, why is this game getting 7 out of 10 from GameSpot? And why is it only getting a 9 out of 10 from IGN? Like, surely this game's going to be a 10 out of 10? Like, Last of Us, they gave a 10 out of 10, which I agree with anyway, because I loved it. And I know a lot of people really don't like it. But anyway, it's a story for another time. There's a lot of games that get 10s out of 10s that shouldn't really get 10 out of 10s. And there's a lot of games who get less than 10 out of 10 when they deserve a 10 out of 10, you know? And this happens, and it all does come down to, like, the reviewer, really. But something I will say, the woman who did the review on GameSpot, I've been getting sent information about this woman over the past 2 days because of that review, and supposedly this woman who's reviewed it, like, she is not that into this type of game, like huge open world RPG game. She hasn't even completed it. She's supposed to be completely woke, and she gave Days Gone 5 out of 10, and one of the reasons why was because there was too many masculine moments, even though the game is about two guys who are best friends who are Harley Davidson bikers trying to survive in a zombie apocalypse world. And one of the reasons why she gave it such a low rating was because there were too many masculine moments. Like, it doesn't make any sense. That's the story. It's about two guys. Do you know what I mean? And supposedly GameSpot were forced to re-review it and do it again because of how stupid some of the review ratings or scores were for Days Gone. So, and that's the same woman who's reviewed Cyberpunk 2077 at GameSpot. So, I mean, that's just a bit of information that I'm getting told and hearing about. So it really does come down to, like, the reviewer and what they actually like in games. Like, you know, if your favorite game is Animal Crossing, then I don't know, I'm not judging anything, but, like, if your favorite game is Animal Crossing and you're saying that Cyberpunk 2077 isn't that good, then I don't know, you're probably, in my mind, just not the right person to review it. Some reviews are saying that the game story length isn't long enough, even though it's, like, clocking around about 40 hours. So that means you have 3 life paths, 3 different story modes at 40 hours. That's 120 hours you can be playing just on story mode, right? And let's just say that the story mode, because I have seen another thing where they're saying I completed it in 25 hours or something. Let's just say the story mode for each life path is around about 25 hours, right? Minimum. That's still 75 hours you're going to get just on the story mode from each 3 life paths. Do you know what I mean? That's more than enough. But people are saying that the game is so huge, like, the amount of shit that you can do in this world is overwhelming, but, like, amazingly overwhelming. Like, the amount of stuff that's going on, the amount of content, the amount of, like, life that the world has is so breathtaking and overwhelming that you could literally be spending, like people have been doing, 175 plus hours and still not even completed it. And here is where we get into the exciting part. I wanted to save the best to last, so we've kind of understood and got a bit of information on as to why they get negative reviews, and what's the solution to that is the fact we're going to get this update patch on day one, which everybody make sure you download that first, because you don't want to have a shit experience when the best experience is just there waiting for you to have. So anyway, let's go into the positives. So many of the people that I've been watching have been saying all of the negative things that I've just spoken about, but they've also made a huge point of letting us all know that this game is supposed to be one of the best games that they've ever played, ever. And they're saying that this game is literally shines so bright, even above all the biggest games that we have to play in the world at the moment. This game kind of is already above a lot of them games and is already shining above them, and in many ways. And supposedly this game is so well made and has so much attention to detail. It's almost perfect in a lot of areas. Supposedly when the game is completely working perfectly, there's no bugs and it's running right, it's meant to be breathtaking, and it's supposed to be like one of the best experiences that you could ever have in gaming. Some of the cutscenes are meant to be unreal, like completely like mind-blowing, and a lot of the attention to detail. The story is supposed to be so sick, all the characters, the world itself. It's being said that this is like no other game, and this is actually better than pretty much every other game that we've ever got to play. And I will put links down in the description below for you guys to go and go and watch these guys talk about this review that I'm talking about, where they speak on how good this game is, and they also talk about the problems with it, and it's non-spoiler. If you want to go and watch these guys, they do talk more in depth, but I skipped a lot of it because I didn't want to get anything spoiled. It is no spoiler, but there was elements of it that I was like, okay, I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know any details of shit. Just want to know why it's good and why there's issues. And they're saying it is probably going to be one of the best games if they fix the bugs. This game is going to be probably one of the best games ever. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you guys. I personally think this game is going to be unreal. It's going to be one of the best games that we've ever seen. It's not going to be for everybody. It might not be a 10 out of 10. Like, I'm having difficulty accepting that it won't be a 10 out of 10. It might be my perfect game. It also might not be, but we'll have to just wait and see. But I definitely do think that this game is going to blow people away. It's going to stand out. It's going to be such an amazing experience, and fingers crossed this day one patch will literally just like take out all the bugs and all the issues that people are experiencing. And again, I don't know the other reasons really, apart from that the story mode might not be long enough for some people. That's kind of as far as I went, so we're just going to have to wait and see. 2 days it's going to be out. I will be doing a live stream on Thursday whenever I get to play it. I don't know when I'm going to actually have it, the actual game. Whenever it gets delivered, I am going to do a live stream. I'm not going to do a full live stream, and I'm not going to do a full recording of this game for the channel, because the thing is, what happens, guys, is when I'm doing these recordings for games and live streams, it takes a lot of time. And it's also like to edit it, to upload it, to do all these things, to set it all up. It takes a lot of time for me to do it, and it's time that I actually don't really have at the moment. But also, once my channel grows a bit more and I get more followers and there's a lot more people who actually want to really sit there and watch me play games, because I know there's many of you that do, but at the moment it's like I have 1.2 thousand followers, and which is great, and I'm so grateful that there's that many people already following me in such a short space of time. But a lot of the followers that I have come from my music background, and they just want to see me for music. They're not so into the gaming, which is completely fine. I expected that anyway, but for me to just do a full recording of a 50+ hour game or whatever it is, it's a lot of shit to go through. It's a lot of editing, it's a lot of uploading, it's just a lot of time to do that, and I don't need to do that really. So I'm just going to do a recording when I first get it, maybe a live stream, we'll see, and just to let you guys see what the game's like to start off with, like the beginning of the game, what it's like to play it, just give you a little taste of it for those of you that don't have it. And yeah, we'll see. Maybe I might do some other live streams of it or recordings down the road. But just letting you all know that that's probably as much as I'm going to do. Because I am a gamer. I do want to just sit down on my sofa and turn off. This is another thing, actually. For me to be able to record, I have to have these massive bright white lights just above me that shine down to obviously light up my face and everything else. So when I'm playing games, I have these 2 floodlights on me the whole time, and it's so off-putting when you're playing a game and you really want to get into it and you've just got 2 massive bright LED white lights shining on your face. I'm okay with doing it for some games, but this game I want to just sit back, put my feet up, and just fucking get stuck right in. Anyways, guys, that's it from me. Thank you for watching. I hope you're all having a great day. And if you haven't already and you do actually enjoy my videos, then please hit the subscribe button. That would be amazing for me. Or at least just give me a thumbs up and hit the like button. Also, if you do want to keep updated with my videos and don't miss a thing, then hit the notifications bell. And please let me know down in the comments what you actually think about Cyberpunk. Are you getting it? Are you looking forward to it? What do you actually think about everything that's coming out, the reviews? Is there anything that you think that I've said that's right or wrong? I would love to know your thoughts down below. But anyways, guys, that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I'll be seeing you next time on wAFFwORLD.